Hello, Mr. Jones. How are you doing today? I see that you came back after our last session a few weeks ago. What do you have going on?
How you doing, Miss Hayden?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking.
That's great. I'm doing pretty well. Come back today just to talk about some new things that I got going with my brand and everything, and just some possibilities of a little bit of. I'm a little scared.
Okay. And whenever you say scared, what do you mean by scared? Like, are we talking about, like, are you afraid of possibly failure?
Uh, yes, I will say failure a lot. I'm just scared to once I jump out there,
Mm-hmm.
will it succeed or will it not succeed? I just don't know where I'm gonna end up at.
Okay. I do know that we did talk about you also having, a job that you're going to be starting as well. So starting a brand and then also starting a new job, that can be a lot. How many times in the past have you ever truly felt at something?
I would say a numerous amount of times.
Okay, so you failed at something a numerous amount of times, and obviously it seems as if you've always gotten right back up, right?
Yes.
Okay, and is there ever a time that you thought you were going to fail at something and you didn't fail at it?
Yes.
Okay.
Starting out with this brand, I thought I wasn't gonna make it this far,
Okay.
and now that I see the success that it has brought me, it has
Mhm.
opened my mind to make it a bigger brand, open out and venture some more.
Okay.
But like you mentioned earlier, me starting this new job, I feel like it's my time, which is gonna stop me from thinking more of this brand to make it bigger.
Mhm.
So now I'm trying to work with my time just to push it out even more.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this failure part and the worry that is coming along with that. So, based off that, what is the worst thing that could truly happen with you doing your brand?
The worst thing that could possibly happen is putting all my money
Mhm.
and time into it,
Mhm.
and I don't receive what I paid for. Now I done wasted time and money and everything. So I don't want to end up in that same point where I have to go out and find different ways to establish this business.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that as far as your time management and things of that sort, and you're talking about putting all your money into it and it not coming out turning out how you want it to be? Can you elaborate a little bit more and just give me a little bit more detail of that part of the brand?
So with the time part,
Mhm.
I do start a new job in a couple of
Mhm.
weeks. I will be working from time to time during probably most of the week. So once I get out of work, I got to make time to be with my family and also build my brand.
Mhm.
But if I'm tired and everything, I need to find a way to not be tired.
Okay.
And then with the money part, I don't want to necessarily put out this much money and I don't get the sales in return.
Okay.
So right now I'm just trying to figure out how can I establish all this at one and make it a great thing.
Okay. So I know that we talked about, that you have failed at things in life. I want to ask you a question. How likely is it that your worry will come true, that you will fail? How likely is that? Is there a time or even experience that you've had with your brand where maybe you've not done or succeeded as well as you thought you had or thought you would have?
So are you asking like what is my likely percentage
No,
of
not
my
necessarily percentage, but you have had your brand for a while.
yes,
You did do a rebranding,
yes,
and you're currently in the process of doing a rebranding, correct?
correct,
So before that, before you did this rebranding, right? And you said you've had this brand for a few years now.
yes,
Is there a time that you've experienced failure within your brand?
yes. New a lot of times actually.
Okay.
I want to say beginning of the time, and I had I paid maybe a couple $1,000s
Mhm.
invested into my brand,
Mhm.
and I did not get the sales back in return. But over time, that did happen to make it a successful brand at that. So that's probably one major failure that I took. That, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, what if your word comes true? What is the worst thing that could happen? What if your brand doesn't succeed as well as you want it to? What if you do fail? What is the worst thing that could happen?
I mean, I was always told, if you fall, you got to pick yourself back up.
Mhm.
So if it does fail anything, I won't look at it as like it's my last opportunity.
Okay.
I will try to keep pushing to fix the brand, try to not even rebuild, but try to make it to where I want it to be. So I would say I won't quit.
You're
But, yeah,
okay. You won't quit. You'll keep going. So let's just go back and talk a little bit about where you failed last time.
right.
Obviously, you picked yourself back up and you rebranded yourself, and now you're back where you are. I'm going to ask you another question. If your worry does come true, what is most likely to happen? What do you see changing within your life if your brand doesn't make it where you want it to be?
I see if it does come true,
Mhm.
I see a more happier days type of thing.
Okay.
See more happier days, more spending time with my family and enjoying life.
Okay, so
I'm listening.
are you saying maybe financial stability, possibly? Maybe not having to work another job? Or, what do you see as far as that?
Exactly what you said.
Financial stability? Is
Yep.
that what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay, if your worry comes true, what are the chances that you'll be okay in a week or so? So if you do fail, what are the chances that you'll be okay in a week or so? Rate it on a scale of 0 to 100.
0 to 100. I want to say 50.
50?
Yes.
Okay, so you'd be upset.
I will be upset, but I will leave it for improvement.
Okay. What about in a month?
In a month, 75.
About 75?
Yes.
So would you say maybe not as upset?
No, not so.
Okay, and what about in a year?
A year, 100. 100.
Okay. So I do have a question. With the failure and things of that sort, does that ever impact or affect the people that are around you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, can you give me some details behind that, or even a experience that you may have, considering you've had your brand for a while? I do have a question. Do you get into a depressed state at times whenever it doesn't end up how you want it to end up?
Yes.
And how do you think that affects people around you?
I would say with my wife and kids, I'll get into this depressed mode where I'm not knowing my body language, but they're seeing me different, and they're seeing I'm not being the father, the husband, and the family and everything. So it started to push them away, or push me away from them, and I'm trying to fix it and everything, but it's hard to fix it when you're trying to take care of everybody.
Okay, so you seem like you have a lot on your plate, on your back.
Yes.
So let's just make a list of the good and the bad if you were to fail. Can we do that? Yeah. So if you were to fail, what is some evidence, that supports that you will fail, or that you could potentially fail?
When you say some evidence.
Whenever I say evidence, I mean some details, some things that happen, like you said, the past. You have failed in the past, right?
Yes.
So, there is potential for failure, right?
Right.
And what are some evidence that doesn't necessarily support that you will fail, considering you did rebrand, and also in the past you've also made thousands of dollars, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, really, you're in this boat of where it's 50-50.
Right.
Correct? So you got 1 foot in and kind of 1 foot out. You just haven't fully jumped off the ledge, correct?
Right.
Okay. I'm just going to ask you more so about your depression and just go back into that. Are there some things that we can do as far as, coping, maybe to help with that and to get you ready if that were to transpire?
Yes. I would say really just help me with like I'm just trying to work on not being depressed when
Okay.
it's a depressing moment.
Okay. So I have one more question for you because we're coming to a time,
All right.
a halt. So what are some goals that we can make for you to be able to push on without having this sort of catastrophizing about what ifs that are really impacting you? What is a goal that you can make for yourself? Could that be possibly you making a list, of the things that you need to do in order to get your brand out? Are there things that you can do as far as time management that could help you push your brand out? Are there also things that you could prepare for if it does not, turn out how you want it to turn out?
Those are actually some good points that I was thinking of.
Is that something you want to answer next session?
Yes.
Okay, we could talk more about that next session. I want to thank you for coming in today, Mr. Jones. If you need anything before our next appointment, just give a call and we can try and get you scheduled beforehand.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
You too.